What's up, you guys? Check out my boy Stinger here. This is a 2021 Stinger. Oh my goodness. GT1 Stinger. And this thing is fire.
Yo, so no brake cleaner.
Alright.
It says no.
No brake cleaner. On the rotors?
Yep.
Harsh chemicals of brake cleaner. Okay.
So I'm like, okay.
Well, let's take a look at it. You know why? Because the car doesn't have that oil on it.
Yeah, you know what? I have ones up there.
These are ceramic coated?
Yeah, but you know what? Whatever they sent me for the free, you know, whatever I want.
Let's see. Oh yeah, you don't. Yeah, you don't need brake cleaner.
Yeah, because I looked at my hands when I looked at the first one. I'm like, all right, well, it's still dry. There's no oil.
Yeah, that's the only reason why you need it, is just get that oil off. But
Yeah.
all right, so we're gonna set this up over here. You got the. What's up, you guys? Check out my boy Stinger here. This is a 2017, 2018, 2021 Stinger. Oh my goodness. GT1 Stinger. And this thing is fire. Check that out. My man stunting with the carbon fiber hood, with the air vents. Woo! So today we're gonna be putting in these bad boys right here. What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. This your boy Slade here. We're taking a break from the usual maintenance on Lionheart over here. Trunk setup is coming up pretty good. LED lights are good. Speakers, still working on the speaker project. Kakashi theme here, so this is just a nice surprise for you guys. Nice teaser for what's to come. But now for this guy over here, we're gonna work on updating the brakes. So he's got, what do you got, drilled and slotted rotors? Drilled and slotted rotors. We're gonna place the factory rotors with his aftermarket drilled and slotted, which means we need to take off the Brembo brakes, take off the rotors, pop those off, and then put the new ones on. Getting the rotors out of the box, getting them prepared and ready to go. All right, so the first step in this process, we're gonna jack the car up, take off the wheels, and look at the condition of the brakes, and then show this guy how to get this stuff done. So this will be a very simple job. You should have like some sort of indicator. Sometimes they mark it left front, right wheel, passenger wheel. I mean, it's not a big deal if it doesn't.
Came with this little paper here. I believe it's like in each box.
Oh, here we go. Yeah.
So these two are from the last box here, so you know.
Okay.
First box. Woo! Almost had workman's comp there for a minute. You know what I mean? Almost broke my ankle. No, I almost rolled it. No, you good though. You good.
Just now?
Yeah. On this little piece of it.
The job. What happened?
Workman's comp. Sponsored by.
Not yet. Close to it though. We're getting so close.
Slade Productions. Yeah, my cousin tried to teach me how to do change out brakes, but I was young. I didn't give a at the time. I was like, bro, I just want to smoke weed. I was like, I'll just pay you $100. How about that? Just get my done, please.
All right, so we really don't need a lot here. There is a impact hammer tool that we're going to use to take out these two screws right there, one there and one there.
Okay.
Okay. Next, this is pretty much the only thing that's bolting the rotor to the wheel hub. These two screws right there. That's after we take off this guy right here. Normally you just want to hook
Got
it
a little
up.
bungy cord?
The point is, you don't want it hanging because you don't want to damage your brake
line. Yeah.
There are two clips right here. Turn your wheels so you can see. All right. So here's the clip right here that holds your calipers in place. And there are two, hold your brake pads in place, sorry. And your two brake pads are right here and right there. There's two pins you can see right here. So we're just gonna pop these out. We're gonna do the first one, pop it out, the first one. Then we're gonna hold this and make sure the spring doesn't pop out. And then we'll take the spring out. This whole thing right here is the spring. Right there. That's the spring clip. Or call like the hardware. It's real simplified on these. And then we'll take the bottom one out. And then the brake pads will just pull right out like toast. Like toast out the toaster. Just lightly tap it. Alright, we're gonna try this guy out.
Kind of like being the cameraman.
It's the easiest job in the world. You really want to use this. You don't want to hammer actually with your damn hammer on the caliper. You want to damage the paint. So you can do something like this. You'll put this guy right here, and then you'll hammer that. Okay. So these are real simple tools, real useful tools to use. Boom. Take these, put these off to the side, and these will be reused. Some on there. Here's the other one. And these only go in one way too.
Okay.
Alright, so now just make it a lot easier to get the caliper off. A big ass mosquito just flew out of the garbage can. Damn it, I should have caught his ass, leave him up in there. So now we got the brake pads out, now we're going to take off the entire caliper. So if you point the camera, and you could flip that little piece off to the side and pull the camera, take the camera out and pull it straight. Oh, you had the camera. Oh, you had it.
There we go.
Yeah, so we look inside.
That was a great blooper. Oh my gosh. Hold on, we gotta focus. We gotta focus here.
Yeah, there's a focus thing right there.
There you go.
All right, now point the camera back here, and you can see there's two giant knuckle bolts right there. There's one up top, right there, and there's another one underneath. So we're gonna pop those open.
Sponsored by New Elementary. Go hard or go home. Look at this, man. My car was clean before I came over here. All this grass. Landscapers.
Landscapers are my worst nightmare. They always come out whenever I'm working on my car and I start filming. I think like the past 3, maybe 4 videos, I've had to pause because landscapers are working. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. Just not getting like in a cadence too. I'm like, come on. Y'all pick now to start cutting the grass? Now, when I get these off, I need you to look and see what are the torque specifications for these knuckle bolts for the brake calipers. My car is like 80 pounds, so yours might be the same too, roughly like 80 or so pounds, give or take, to torque these things down properly.
Let me check now.
Now we just loosen up the 2 knuckle bolts in the back using 17mm extended nuts, extensions. I don't know, that's 17mm. So it says 10 on it, but that's not the size you want to use. You want to use 17. And this brake line is really short, really in the way. And take this off, set it right up on top of the bucket. Put that right on top of the bucket. Yeah.
Don't worry about scratching it. It's all right.
Okay. Here we go. So that'll sit right there. You got to make sure this is a very short brake line, so you want to make sure you don't damage that.
Yeah.
So now we're ready to take off the rotor. And normally, once you take off these two screws right here, there's one here and there's one in there, the rotor should come off. But depending on normally how old the car is or when's the last time you changed the rotors, a lot of rust will build up in the back. And I actually did a video on actually how to take that off. So you just take off these two screws, and the only thing that's holding this rotor to the hub is the rust that's accumulated behind it. You just take your hammer and just tap all in between the wheel studs, just like that. You'll break up the rust that's behind it. And sometimes some will take longer than others. For me, it took like an hour. Just tapping, 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 and eventually this just popped right off. Trusty hammer punch tool, and I don't know if that's the proper name for it, with a like a ratchet inside here. And when you smack it with the hammer, this will push into the screw and turn it at the same time. There we go. That's one. And again, I'm hitting it, and when you hit it, it forces the screw, it forces the Phillips head into the screw and then turns it at the same time. So that way you don't strip that screw. And all these just come right out. Now, it should just come out. Expect it, it's not doing it. So now, like I said, what about the rust? Over here, you don't want to tap this itself because it'll just shatter into a million pieces. And sometimes you want to reuse this. All right, so with much deliberation, how long did that take us? Probably about 20 minutes, I want to say, to hammer off that guy right there. And there isn't a lot of rust on here, which is a concern because I'm wondering why this was gripping so hard on here. So you see that there's not a lot of rust. It's relatively clean. All right, so here's where we took it off. Right here, here's all the rust. So now we're gonna put on the new rotor, not this one, but one of the front facing ones. Yep, probably that one. And it's all on the face of the hub right here. And that way, once Taylor needs to take off this rotor in the future, it won't be so difficult. As you see what Taylor's doing right now, we're just prepping the hub. He's getting a wire brush and just brushing off as much of that rust as we can. And then we're gonna spray it with this brake parts cleaner. Right up there to clean that up really good. Pop this bad boy on. Now you want to line it up to these little screws right here. You see there's two tiny screws in the hub face itself. Go. All right, so now we're ready to put the caliper back on.
Brakes are on
It'll be
fine.
fine. All right, so now we got the caliper on. Torque them to spec. Now we're ready to put the brake pads back on. There we go. All right, now we're ready to put these pins back in. Now we're just putting the spring clip back on the caliper.
Always do it on my own, so I gotta get through it. And the only thing I know is to to love what I'm doing. Never give up, never slow, till I finally prove it. Never listen to the no's, I just wanna keep moving. Keep my head up when I act, head up, that's a fact. Never looking back, I'ma keep myself on track. Keep my head up, stay
Hold it back.
strong, always moving on.
Actually,
Feel I don't belong, tell my best to move along. Push myself to be the best, die with no regrets. Live with every breath, see my message start to spread. And I had so many dreams, then you hit your teens. Life ain't really
done.
what it seems.
Good.
Try to find out what it means. Always do it
That's the driver's side done.
gotta get through it. And the only thing
And that is how you easily put on new rotors. Taking off the brake pads, that's how you take off the caliper, and that's how you put on new rotors. So now we're finished with the driver's side, so now we're going to work on the other wheels, get that going. But yeah, man, this video's a wrap. So guys, we're going to stop the video right here. Stay tuned for the next ones. True to yourself, love what you do what you love. Take care of your beard as always. Catch you guys in the next one, 'cause I'm tired.
Hey, still got a break in the motor.
All right, now back in the house.